Welcome to Rainy Day Rabbit Holes, where we take the history of the West off the rails.
If you like your history unhinged, you are in the right place.
I'm Shea.
And I'm Jody.
Let's fall down the rabbit hole.
Well, hello from Rainy Day Rabbit Holes. Welcome to a spooky season story. I'm super excited about this, Shea.
Woo. Oh, wait, that was a bad ghost noise. I don't know what that was. I can't do ghost noises. I'm so sorry.
I can't really do noises, but I feel the urge to do them, so I do them for you all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have no thought in my head that they're actually good, accurate, anything. They just escape. I'm in the moment. All right, so I'm going to get to this story that, starts out pretty close to our era. It starts out in 1910, Shea.
All right.
I mean, it was not the 1890s, but we are not far from it.
Yep.
Imagine this. You're a young mother in February 1910, and you are traveling with your two kids from Spokane to Seattle. You've been stuck on a train for almost a week in the middle of a blizzard.
It takes that long to go from Spokane to Seattle?
Well, no, they got stopped in a blizzard, so they're stuck there for a whole week.
That's right. That would have happened, because where are you going to go?
You're going to sit tight.
Yeah, because the train at least is going to be hopefully dry and warm, but wow.
Sounds like maybe not too dry and warm.
No. Oh, no.
Not
okay.
not after almost, it was 5 days. So.
Oof. Okay.
So you've been stuck on this train for almost a week in the middle of a blizzard. Supplies are running low. The lamps are smoky. You've worn the same clothes for that entire week. The kids are restless, hungry, crying. You keep telling them it's going to be okay. The tracks will clear any day now. Or maybe you're a railroad worker and you've been shoveling snow 12 hours a day, cursing the mountains and the skies, and the endless storm that buries you in your work. You're exhausted, but you keep at it because those passengers, those families, they're counting on you. Or maybe you're just a student heading back west, or a salesman with a briefcase full of useless samples. Just ordinary people caught in an extraordinary trap. And then, at 1 a.m., you hear it. A rumble. A crack.
Oh no, an avalanche?
And before you can scream, an avalanche, half a mile wide, sweeps you, the train, and the town itself into the abyss. This is Wellington, Washington, the deadliest avalanche in U.S. history.
Oh my God, I've never heard of this.
I hadn't either.
This sounds terrible.
It is terrible, and it's quite the story. So,
okay. I hope somebody had laudanum. One of those salesmen had laudanum in a suitcase.
Right?
That's the only
everybody,
thing. That's
just
the only thing
take
that would
this.
make it. You'll be fine. You'll be warm.
Let's get high for the
You won't even notice that we're dying.
So by the time the avalanche struck, the passengers had already been living in hell for nearly a week.
Wow.
The blizzard, it had snowed nonstop since February 23rd, falling up to a foot an hour at the height.
A foot an hour?
Yeah, not the whole time, thank goodness. The most snow in one day was 11 feet.
Oh my God.
11 feet.
I'm looking at the,
That's two plus of me.
Well, I'm looking at the we have 15-foot ceilings in this room.
Yeah.
And so it would be over the top of this pony wall that we have here in the
Yes.
studio. That's insane.
In just one day. And that's after days and days of trying to dig yourself out. The rotary snowplows that the railroad sent up to clear the line kept breaking down or getting buried themselves because the snow just kept coming. The trains, there were two of them, the Spokane Express passenger train and a fast mail train. About 100 passengers and crew stuck in this blizzard. Add to that the townsfolk of Wellington. There was a small crowd of all stranded. The conditions, think about it. Coal smoke choking the air, kerosene lamps flickering, wet wool clothes steaming, the stink of bodies and food running out. People passed the time playing cards, smoking, telling stories. Parents tried to soothe children with promises of tomorrow. And I wonder what the waste situation is like. I'm thinking, there was no flushing toilets, right?
Well, I think back in the day, those trains probably had a holding tank that they literally just released onto the tracks. Mm-hmm. But if it's snowing and it's probably freezing,
yeah, where would it go? What do you do with it?
So even if you're dumping it on the track, it's piling up and freezing, and then that is still, then it'll be melted inside the train. Mm-hmm. And
It's backing up.
And you've got all these people that it's not made to do that. And they're not,
right.
you don't stock a week's worth of food on a train.
Nope.
That
They were
takes
down to the crumbs by the time the avalanche
Do you know
comes.
how long that train would normally take to go from Spokane to Seattle? Is it like a days?
It was 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. And so they were halfway here, more than halfway here, and end up, this is up by Stevens Pass, Gold Bar area.
Oh, okay.
So they get about that far. I guess that's probably more than halfway. But when the blizzard stops them in their tracks, literally tracks. Passengers wrote in diaries about their fear, about the sound of avalanches thundering around in the distance. So they had some ideas that this was happening all around them, but it hadn't hit them yet. One note found later read, "The snow slides keep coming. We can hear them, but not see them in the dark. All we can do is wait." Wellington, a small town up by Stevens Pass, between Stevens Pass and Gold Bar.
Okay.
Was. Between Stevens Pass.
It was. Okay.
Gold Bar. Wellington itself was a railroad town, population of maybe 100. Mostly section hands, track laborers, and their families. They all lived in these little tiny cabins clinging to the mountainside. So those, your railroad shanties, essentially. Okay. And the only people living there were railroaders and their families, and there weren't very many of them that ventured out there and stayed out there.
Probably just one-room buildings and precariously built.
The station agent was a man named James Henry O'Neill. He had been telegraphing frantically for help, trying to get supplies, begging for more plows to come and clean up the line. He watched the storm bury everything in sight as he called around begging for help. The Great Northern had promised passengers they'd be safe, even in the winter, even in the snow, even over the pass. But as the days wore on, morale collapsed. Some passengers tried hiking out, but they all turned back because the snow was just too deep.
Yeah, where are you going to go?
Everyone was trapped. On the night of February 28th, the weather changed. It had been snowing since February 23rd, so 5 full days. The air warmed, rain started, and thunderstorms rolled in. Lightning flashed across the ridges and thunder booming off the peaks. And then it happened. It was a lightning strike that hit the side of the mountain and activated an avalanche. Oh, God.
Yeah, and all the rain would be making that snow really unstable and heavy
and unstable. Mm-hmm. A cornice of snow broke free on Windy Mountain, a half-mile long, 14 feet deep. It roared down in seconds, a wall of snow, ice, and timber. Of note, the previous summer, there had been wildfires that cleared this entire area of trees, making the path clear and maximizing how far and how fast it traveled.
So it's just a snow slide at this point.
Mm-hmm. It was just a free-for-all for that snow to come down. There was nothing slowing it down. Survivors reported it sounded like the end of the world. A witness described the train cars being lifted up into the air like toys before being hurled into the canyon. The avalanche carried the locomotives, 7 passenger cars, and several freight cars 150 feet down, smashing them into splinters. In the darkness, people were buried alive. Some suffocated within minutes, others trapped in air pockets and screamed until they were silent. They screamed throughout the night.
Oh, God. How horrifying.
They were not silent for long. After this break, I will bring you the stories of those who did not survive the avalanche, but persist in keeping their stories alive. Welcome back. And hey, if you'd like to help keep us from being buried in obscurity, check out our Patreon. Supporting us won't stop avalanches, but it will give you access to bonus episodes, early content, and the smug satisfaction of knowing you are a better person than anyone who doesn't subscribe.
True. All facts. And shinier hair.
Shiny hair.
And a tighter butt.
Yes. You should see since I joined our Patreon. No, I'm just kidding. Back to the story. Although 96 people perished in the avalanche, there were survivors. There were 23 people who survived that avalanche.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
People that were like in the train?
Mm-hmm. One man described being thrown clear of the wreckage and clawing his way out of the snow, frozen and half blind. Another told that he had been asleep in the Pullman car when he woke to find himself upside down, pinned under splintered timbers, hearing the muffled cries of others buried nearby.
Terrifying.
A mail clerk trapped in the wreckage supposedly used his final strength to clutch his mailbag to his chest. When rescuers found him frozen stiff, he was still holding it.
Wow.
I know, I don't think I'd have that much dedication to my job.
Mm-mm. And those postal workers really were dedicated back then.
Right? Among the dead were families, children, railroad workers, and even the town doctor. The youngest victims were toddlers. The oldest were gray-haired old pioneers. The avalanche didn't just bury trains and bodies. It left behind scars in the land. And if the stories are to be believed, in spirit world too.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's a lot of death and tragedy. Leaves an impression on a place.
A huge event. For over a century, hikers, railroad workers, and later paranormal investigators have reported that Wellington never really let go of its dead. I'm going to give you some instances of sightings, ghost lights. One of the most common reports is lantern lights flickering in the dark. People hiking the Iron Goat Trail at dusk say they see pale, bobbing glow just off the trail, always the size and color of an old kerosene lantern. The lights never stay still. They weave in and out of the trees, sway gently as though carried by hand, and vanish if you try to follow.
Creepy. It's like will-o'-the-wisp lights.
Paranormal groups claim that these are the spirits of railroad workers still pacing their patrols along the track, checking for slides and damage as they once did in real life. One hiker swore he saw a light move across the abandoned snow shed roof far above him, even though the structure had collapsed decades before.
Oh, wow.
Voices. So not just the lights. We have voices. In the long, dripping tunnels, hikers often report faint cries. Some describe it as muffled screams, others as a woman calling for help. A Seattle Times article from 1945 even quoted hikers saying they heard the sound of a train whistle at night in a place where no rails remain. Paranormal investigators who brought recording devices claim they have caught EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, of men calling out railroad commands. All clear. Back her up. I have to double check that with our railroad experts to see it. All clear, yeah, but back her up. I've not heard that one.
Yeah, and,
I mean, not according to the railroad. I'm just kidding.
But also, railroad vernacular may have changed over the last century plus. But no,
I like to always tell Keith that'll do. And
I was about to say that'll do.
He's like,
Well, and it's funny. Anytime you there's TV or movie where they're like on a CB radio and they're like, over and out. He's like, that's not what you say.
No,
you just say out.
Sometimes I'll be on the phone with him and I'll hear the radio chatter and I'm like, it's so not at all clear. There's none of those over and out. There's rambling on there, and then they say
over, but
and then I'm done, and then is this guy gonna finish that? And do you think we should move it over there? And I was like, wow. Okay, we probably shouldn't play that part because I'm just insulting everyone Keith works with. Which, anyway. Where was I? Oh, EVPs. So to quote one hiker, wind in the Cascades can howl like a freight train. But when the gusts carry a scream that chills your blood, you start to wonder if it's just the weather. Cold spots. So we have lights, we have wind, voices in the wind, and cold spots. Even on warm summer days, hikers say they've felt sudden blasts of freezing air like stepping into a walk-in freezer. These cold spots are especially strong in the tunnels and near the canyon where the trains went down. Ghost hunters talk about columns of icy air as if invisible figures are brushing past. Some hikers describe it as almost physical presence, like someone walked straight through them. One woman on a guided hike said she froze in place when a wave of cold rolled over her, strong enough to make her breath visible, even though it was nearly 80 degrees outside.
Okay. So in a lot of these railroad tunnels, you do get cold spots just because of the nature of physics. And same within the forest. You've got you could just have a dip in the ground and it can make it a whole air pocket of cold, or the vegetation around you. Colds, when people are like, oh,
How about I have
cold, it
Chris Staudinger do this story, and suddenly you will believe it.
Well, no, the cold spots to me are like, or when people will be like, I felt like there was something there. I was like, bull crap. Anyway, sorry.
I've actually not felt anything, even in all of my belief in this, in the afterlife. I have not felt anything.
You also can convince yourself. I'm not a believer in the paranormal, and I watch a scary movie and I am freaked out and feel like there's something in the house.
I'm the opposite of that. Because I watched the entire movie like, oh, that doesn't even make sense. Wait. I'm just like a critical thinker on the movie.
I'm calling bull on this. You didn't watch a whole movie. You fell asleep. When was the last time you watched? This is why
I fall asleep. I think they're stupid. Movie. Come on. Try to get one over on me. Although I have to say, I do not watch movies, scary movies. Like Keith and he'll say, so we pick movies that I will like the first 30 minutes of. But I will not pick one about a woman home alone at night.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's too much. I'm not home alone at night. In a giant house in the woods.
God. No, you're not. You have 2 cats.
Yeah. Doug could be. I think he would protect me. I'm pretty sure Doug, if someone broke into my house, would take care of that. Okay, back to this. And now, apparitions. So we have the lights, we have the voices, we have the cold spots.
The BS cold spot. Sorry.
Shea, ruins, everything. Apparitions. And then, of course, there are apparitions. You can delete that. Shadows moving at the edge of vision. A man in a conductor's cap seen on the trail, only to dissolve when approached. Mm. A pale woman said to wander near the tunnel entrances, sometimes wringing her hands, sometimes carrying nothing but silence. Hikers resting in the old snow shed claim to have seen figures trudging through the snow in the middle of summer. One witness said, I thought it was a reenactment group until they vanished. Some stories are darker. A group of teenagers claim they saw a man step out of the trees, stare silently, and then melt into the fog. They ran, swearing never to hike that trail again.
But they were teenagers, so I can't believe them anyway.
They were on acid. What year was it? Was it the 70s?
The whole reason we have bat squatch is because of one stoned teenager in Buckley, okay?
Well, thank God for that. We would never, bat squatches is important. Dogs, too, are said to sense what humans can't. They'll growl at empty tunnels, refuse to move forward, or whine at invisible presences. More than one hiker has turned back because their dogs simply refuse to go on. And let's be honest, if your dog says, hell no, you listen.
Right, that's Rev? Right. Yes. Right now, he is trying to telepathically.
I wrote it in here, right, Rev?
Right now, he is staring me down, trying to will me telepathically to give him more cheese.
Yes. Now for an ad break. And hopefully it isn't from Amtrak, as that would be poorly done.
That would be.
Want to support a safer ride? Head to our Patreon. Joining guarantees you'll never be stranded in a snowstorm longer than 4 days. Terms and conditions apply.
Individual use may vary. If your snowstorm lasts longer than 4 hours, please contact a doctor.
Now back to our haunting. If you want to feel the ghosts of Wellington yourself, you don't need a seance. You just need to go hike Iron Goat Trail. The trail runs from the Great Northern Line, following the very path the avalanche obliterated. And every mile has its stories. I'm going to take a page out of Shea's book, and I'm going to take you on a little haunted tour. Ooh. And you can take our episode with you on your hike of the Iron Goat Trail.
Okay, awesome.
Mile 1.
Okay.
The old snow sheds. You start at the trailhead, winding your way through dripping fir trees. Soon you hit the snow sheds. Huge concrete tunnels built to protect the tracks from slides after the disaster. Today, they're crumbling, moss-covered, and eerily silent.
Creepy.
This is where hikers report lantern lights swaying inside the snow sheds, even though there's no electricity. The lanterns were never hooked up to electricity, but there's no lights in there hooked up to electricity. Right. They're abandoned. Listen, and you may hear the echo of footsteps behind them, steady and heavy, like a work crew still patrolling the line. You may hear whispers carried by the dripping water, like men calling to one another in the dark. If you stop too long, you may feel that freezing draft across your neck, the kind that makes you glance back, certain someone is standing there. Mile 2, the tunnel mouths. Farther up, you reach the collapsed railroad tunnels, blasted through solid rock. Some entrances gape open like black mouths. Others are caved in and sealed. This is where the report gets stranger. Hikers have sworn here they saw shadowy figures dart just inside the tunnels, human-shaped but unsubstantial. EVP recordings captured in these tunnels contain faint cries for help, and once what sounded like a child's voice asking, "Where's Mama?"
Oh, creepy.
Paranormal teams say the temperature inside can plummet 20 degrees in seconds. Cameras fog up and batteries drain. Maybe bring some battery backup. In this area, one group reported they turned a corner and saw a man in a railroad cap standing still, staring. When they blinked, he was gone. Mile 3, the slide path. This is where the avalanche struck, where the trains, the depot, almost 100 lives were swept into the canyon. Standing here, the silence feels different. Heavy. People describe a crushing weight in their chest, as if air itself remembers the snow pressing down. This is where dogs often refuse to walk across, growling and pulling back, tails between their legs. Hikers, late in the day, report hearing phantom screams carried on the wind. Not just one voice, many, a chorus of terror. If you're up to it, maybe plan to be there in the afternoon or early morning. One chilling story, a man hiking along here said he heard the distinct sounds of a steam whistle. Distant but clear. There are no trains within miles. That's no longer a train line. So if you hear a train, it's a ghost. Okay, Shea?
Okay.
Okay, if we take this hike, I'm just going to keep something in my pocket that's like sounds like
trains. Or is it a Sunday and the Seahawks are playing?
That's a sound of a bomb.
No, they do a train whistle. That's in
my neighborhood. It is bomb after bomb after bomb.
Oh,
every time they score, and if they win, it doubles down.
In Normandy Park, it was always a train whistle. There was somebody in the neighborhood that had a train whistle that they would
never heard that
do every time they did a touchdown. Was a train whistle. I was like, ugh. And Rich
they
was like
a
I
megaphone?
Can't get away from it.
All right, mile 4, the ghostly lanterns. As you descend down the Ty River Valley, the reports turn back to the lights, pale yellow, glowing, moving steadily as though carried in a lantern. Sometimes a single light, sometimes two, pacing side by side. They'll appear just ahead of the trail, leading you forward, then vanish around the bend. Some hikers chase them, thinking they're real people with flashlights, only to find the trail empty. Local legend says these are the spirits of railroad workers, still patrolling the tracks, lanterns swinging, forever looking for the slide that already came. So by the time you've walked the whole trail, you've retraced the steps of both the living and the dead. You've stood where the trains fell, where bodies were buried, and where lanterns still swing in the dark. And whether or not you see a ghost, you'll understand why so many people leave the Iron Goat Trail with the same unsettled feeling that you weren't hiking alone. These hauntings, lights, voices, cold spots, and apparitions, they all tie back to the same truth. Nearly 100 people died here in one violent, unexpected sweep of nature. Their bodies may be gone, their town may be erased from the maps, but their presence lingers. Hikers go to Iron Goat Trail for the history, for the scenery, but they often leave talking about the feeling that you're not alone out there, that someone is still walking beside you in the snow.
I have questions. Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I paper dropped, not mic dropped. I left my mic in the stand.
Oh, you're so stinky.
Yes, what are your questions?
Okay. How long is the Iron Goat Trail?
4 miles.
Is it a hike or a walk?
It's a hike.
Like,
well,
have you done
a railroad? No, I have not.
Okay.
A railroad grade. What did I?
Well, there's going to be limits to a railroad grade.
Right. So anytime you're hiking a railroad trail, you can know that
it'll be limited to like 6% or something like that. Yeah. Yes. I can't remember what the
that's a steep
grade.
hike for somewhere around here if you're on the railroad trails.
Okay.
But you are out in the woods.
But it follows the railroad trail mostly?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And question 2, can we go do this next time I go up to Gold
Bar
with you?
Okay. Absolutely.
And then
we'll get our own photos.
Question 3. So where the train was stuck.
I don't know. We need to take someone with us. I got to go back. We need to take somebody with us. Doesn't know the story. Hasn't heard the story.
Oh, yeah. Because that way.
And then see if they feel, sense, or identify anything.
Okay.
Wait, does that mean to drag somebody into a haunted place and not tell them it's haunted?
You take. Yeah. Well, let's find somebody.
Is there
we'll take
somebody
my
we don't
mom
like?
up there.
Oh, okay.
I like my mom, but she wouldn't have listened.
But would she be the type that would sense something like that?
Maybe.
And say it, knowing you're just going to shame her because it's not real.
I'm not going to shame. I'm going to explain. God, there's a difference. Now you're shaming me just for explaining things.
You're right. I've turned it on you.
Don't shame-splain me or whatever. I don't know. Okay, so where the train was trapped, can you kind of give me a visual of like, because if the town was wiped out too, so was it at a station when it was
So it's
stopped?
above. So here's, in looking at the pictures and looking at the maps and looking at the description,
Okay.
they look to be above the town of Wellington.
Okay, so they're on like
On the
they're on the
hillside.
side of a mountain.
They're on the side of the mountain, and
Okay.
Wellington is down at the bottom.
Okay, so there's like mountain on one side, drop off on the other,
Yes.
basically, of this railroad.
And so they're kind of
Okay.
just hanging out there, and the town of Wellington is also isolated and trapped in this blizzard at the time.
Okay.
So the avalanche comes down, wipes out the train, and takes it into the town of Wellington.
Okay.
And wiping that out. There is a hotel in the town of Wellington that it missed for some
Wow.
reason. So I definitely want to go visit that whole area. But the town decided not to rebuild. Apparently, this was very devastating to not just devastating in the fact that there was a trauma.
Yes.
And an
Such a
event
tragedy.
like a tragedy like this. They did not rebuild the town. They
Huh.
did not, just go, we'll persevere. They're like, oh no, we're leaving this just how it is. We're out. So it was very emotional for people there, apparently. I think there was, what did I say? 23 people lived.
And how many people died?
96 died.
Wow. That's a lot. Yeah.
And that's out of the town and the 2 trains.
Wow.
That's how many people were there. Like, that's a small town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a little smaller than Skagway used to be
Yeah,
back in
right.
the day. Okay, well, we're going to have to make this one of our field trips.
Definitely. When I was searching up creepy things in the Pacific Northwest and found out it was in my new stomping grounds, I was like, yes,
Awesome.
I'm a hiker. Yes, this is in my new area. Yes,
Yep,
we're going
it's
on it.
Not like we're going to do Bridal Falls again. We did it the one time. It was beautiful.
No, I did Wallace. That was beautiful as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mentions along the trail at Wallace Falls about Dan Evans, who I didn't know about until, you and I discovered him. And I really wish he was my governor now.
I know.
He would have been a Republican, but the best Republican I've ever seen.
Yep. A Republican that's much more like a Democrat than a Republican these days.
He was actually better than most Democrat. Like he really had the right mission in mind for all the people. He said, I don't care about my political affiliation. I'm just picking one because I have to. And I care about the people.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be, but that's not how it goes.
Exactly. That is an episode we're going to do on the new podcast, is the evolution of the parties.
Ooh, I love it.
Because they actually swapped.
Yes. The
At one
Great
point.
Southern, what was it? Not Southern Mission, Southern,
Baptist?
it's called something. No, the Republicans went on a mission saying, hey, the Southerners seem a bit racist. Let's take advantage of that.
Interesting.
Let's get them on our team.
Oh.
We're going to use this as a way to get people to vote Republican.
Oh.
because they're racist. We can be racist. They'll like us.
But it didn't used to be. It used to be the Republicans that were the ones that
They were against slavery. They're the ones that abolished slavery.
Yeah.
And then they decided, wait, we want to get those voters. So we are going to turn into racists to get those racist voters.
Interesting.
And then we're going to turn around and say, we're not racist. We're not racist at all. We're just speaking facts.
Right.
We're just speaking facts about all these races that are not white, that are much less than us. That is not racist. It's just facts. Sorry, I just want to tirade.
I've been listening to this.
This is half a martini, and I am
very strong. That's 10%.
I'm already on a mission.
It's 10%.
Okay, 5% down.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Okay. Thank you. That was very spooky. Now, guys, you've heard a couple of our episodes. You've heard our bespoke fan fiction at this point.
Yeah.
So
you could totally be in an avalanche, trapped on a train in an avalanche. Or you could be the hero.
Yeah. Do you want to be somebody that dugs people out?
Yeah. You could have dug people out.
Yeah.
Saved a baby.
Yeah. Do you want to save a baby? What kind of person are you that you don't want to save a baby?
Right. All you have to do to save a baby is you sign up for our Patreon,
and then you
submit your name with a story that you would like us to write about you. Like you can give us things that you wish for. If not, you can just submit your name. We'll just pick whatever. But if you would like to save a baby in your story, just let us know.
And why wouldn't you want to save a baby? Are you a bad person?
Everybody wants to save a baby,
right?
Except for baby killers,
right? What if that baby was holding a puppy? What are you, a baby and a puppy killer now?
I don't know. It's a kitty, I thought.
And a kitty. One under each arm.
That is a cute kid. I'd definitely save that baby.
He's in his little bassinet, his old-timey bassinet, with a kitten curled up under one arm and a puppy curled up under the other arm.
I'm grabbing that bassinet and I am running up through the avalanche.
Screw the rest of you guys. You could die.
The best way to survive an avalanche is to run up through it like a wave.
Is it?
No.
Oh. I thought you knew something about avalanches now, and I was like,
no.
Is it really? Oh.
No. It's to hunker down and make sure you have air. Stick a stick in the air so someone can find you.
Hide under a desk like you do for a nuclear explosion.
Or a school shooting.
Right. That'll help. God. Okay, sorry.
I went all wrong in the last 10 minutes.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you guys for sticking with us again. And happy spooky season. Woo! I hope you're doing spicy pumpkin flavored stuff and peeping at fall leaves.
Okay. By the way, off topic, but if anyone loves the Kodiak pancakes, the protein pancakes mix.
Do they have a pumpkin one?
Yes. And I just made those the other day.
Are they delicious?
Oh my God. Do you want me to make you some? I have it. They are so good.
I do love a pumpkin pancake, man.
You can make muffins. You can make waffles. Oh, they are so good.
Oh, I love pumpkin everything. I just
made
made
like dessert
chili.
pancakes.
I make the best pumpkin chili. Did I send you that recipe?
Yes, you did. And you've made it for me, which I prefer to mine.
Okay.
That I have never made.
You just like when somebody else cooks for you. I get it. Me too. Well, thank you, everyone. And especially thank you to our mistress of marketing and our wizard of websites, Letha Davis. And you can find her work and have her help you with your marketing or make your website at lethadavis.com. And if our new website has launched and you are a podcaster and you want a shiny, awesome website that is easy to use, easy to input all of your show information in there, all of your episode information with so many great tools, contact Letha at lethadavis.com. It's like Lisa with a lisp.
And here's a bonus if you work with Letha. It is important to me to support good people.
Yes.
And this is someone who I just find to be the most beautiful human. Mm-hmm. She is just such a great person. So you're not just supporting
a small
her
local
business,
yep.
her small local business. You're supporting someone who really is out there being a good human being.
She is. Yep.
In the world.
She's incredible. Thank you, Letha. All right. Well, that's it. And
see you down the rabbit hole.
My dog smells like ass.